That's the idea behind this session. So the idea is share a story and you'll realize the power of story which is there is something very different from any other format which is available out there to express or tell your message. That's the purpose of having a story. And when you tell a story, it sticks to the mind, the emotions stick to the mind, and it touches someone else, and it stays for a longer time. So, with that, I hope we have stories here. And today, by the time we wrap up for the session, each one of us will have a story to take back, something that we have told to the world or we have listened from the other people that we are sitting here with. And stories will make you smile, will make you learn, will teach you a lot of things. That's the purpose of stories. So, with that, who would like to come up first? Who would like to share their story, whatever be it, fiction, non-fiction, or whatever it is? Vagisha,
I can. I will come.
Because you would like to go? Because you would like to go?
Let her go.
I'll ask you just Vagisha,
Yeah, if
do you
Bagisa
want to
wants
share a
to.
story? Vagisha, do you want to share a story?
It's actually imaginary and it's little bit
Anything.
long also.
No
It's
issues.
very long also.
How
But I'll make
long?
it short.
How
5
long?
minutes.
Okay, what I'll do is if it's getting very long, I'll just raise my hand like this. Try to shorten it, okay? Because in the interest of time and
Okay.
everyone's time. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Sure. Okay then. Go ahead, Vagisha. The stage is all yours.
So one day there's a girl named Harinya and she lived with her mother in a cottage. And they were very poor. So that time her mother used to go buy milk and she used to get rice from the farm fields. And they used to eat that only. So one day her mother said that you should guard the rice from any birds eating it and I will go for milk and come back. So Harinya waited in the terrace. Then suddenly one small sparrow came. She asked, can I have some rice? It said, okay, have some. Then a robin came and it said, can I have some rice? It allowed again. So for some rice. Then suddenly one huge golden bird came with wide wings and a nice orange beak. And it said that, can I have some rice? Okay, if you want, said Harinya. Then the bird ate all of the rice and said, come with me and I'll give you some rice. They went to a small tree house and the bird flew. And Harinya said, can I have a ladder? What kind of ladder do you want? The bird asked and said, I want a bamboo ladder because she knew only a bamboo ladder. And then a bamboo ladder appeared and she climbed it. It was very plain and the house was very plain and there was a mat and 3 boxes filled with rice. You look hungry. What kind of plate do you want to eat in? Then Harinya thought she only knew one plate, which is a banana leaf. She asked, can I have a banana leaf? So, okay, and a banana leaf appeared with lots of meal. And she ate a hearty meal. And she went. But the bird called out her, you don't have rice, so take some rice with you and go. She took the small box because there's a long way home and she went. And she told her mother all what happened. And then this news passed to her neighbor, which was very greedy. She was very greedy. She put a big mat of rice. The golden bird came and it ate it. And the bird said, quickly take me to the magic tree house. So it said, okay, come with me. And then the bird flew and asked, what kind of ladder do you want? She asked a golden ladder. A golden ladder appeared and she climbed it. Then suddenly one mat came and 3 boxes. So she asked, what kind of plate you want? The neighbor said that I want a golden plate. A golden plate appeared. She ate a hearty meal. She wanted more. She wanted very much food. So she took it. And she packed also some. And she took the biggest box of rice. And when she went home, she took the ladder and the plate and even the big box. But when she went home, she opened the box and saw that it had a snake inside. And she kept it safely in her basement. And then when she opened and she took the ladder out, it turned into a bamboo ladder. And when when she took out the plate, it turned into a banana leaf. And she was not rich anymore. And the golden bird never ever came to the village ever again. And the moral of the story is that you should not be greedy anytime.
That's a wonderful story, Vagisha. I think it's beautifully narrated, such a simple story, and I think it has a message for not just someone as young as Vagisha, but even for as old as someone like me. It's a wonderful story, Vagisha. Beautifully said and beautifully narrated, I must say. For someone as young as 7 years, I think it's a beautiful storyline to entirely remember and narrate it and send across such a beautiful message. Well done, Vagisha.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, for the people who have just joined in, Abhihel and Rashmi, today's session is about stories. Here,
Yes.
it's not an impromptu session, it's a session where you're going to share any story that you'd like to, fiction, non fiction, or anything that's good, happy, sad, whatever you want to call, whatever you want to share, a story that you want the world to know. That's the idea behind today's session. Okay,
Yes.
Abhihel, welcome.
Yes, yeah,
Okay,
hello.
okay, got you.
I was just like watching IPL and then I was like, oh, I forgot about this session today.
Thank God, somebody, at least someone spares the IPL for our session. I'm happy for that. Thank you. Okay, then. Bikash, let's begin with your story then. Go ahead.
Okay. So one day, all the employees, when they reached the office, they saw one notice stick to the door of the office, and there it is written that the person who was hindering your success is no more. Kindly join the funeral tomorrow. So as they read the message, they are initially they are very sad. Or some of their colleague got died. So that was definitely a matter of sorrow. Then slowly they were very curious that who was that person actually who was kind of think like hindering our success, who was envious for our success. Then the curiosity went on, and I thought, okay, let's go and join the funeral and find it out. The curiosity went so huge that in the funeral ground, it was kind of a mob where the security guard had to control, and somehow they were brought to a place where they can stand very near to the coffin, and they were trying to find out who was that person. And to their surprise, when the coffin opened, they were very much stunned by looking at the coffin. Can anyone guess like who was there? I think you know the story, Rahul. Okay, let me tell. So there was nothing but a mirror, and when they saw in the mirror their own image, they thought, "Oh, it was me." Actually, the message here is there cannot be anyone who can limit our own success, our own personal growth, other than we ourselves. So it's not that when we change our boss, when we change our company, or when we change our surrounding, or when we go to a hill station, whatever we change, we cannot get real happiness, real pleasure, real peace unless until we understand our own true nature and understand what is limiting our potential and work on that. So with this, I'm kind of ending.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's wonderful. Can I request everyone to please switch on your cameras? A small request, if it's possible, if there's no bandwidth issue, please switch on your cameras. Hi, JP Mishra ji, good to see you back. Hi, Khushi.
Good evening.
Good evening. Okay, now the reason why I asked you all to switch on the cameras is because it's always a small request, unless you have an issue, unless there's a disturbance to someone. I request anytime, any meeting you are there, please keep your cameras on. People love to talk to people. Not for my meeting alone. I'm just talking to anyone. People love to talk to people. And today, with this pandemic, we are already in less contact with people. We are already seeing far, far lesser, and we are becoming less social. And this is one opportunity where, if you're getting a chance, why not keep it on? That's the idea that I'm trying to share. And coming to Bikash, before we move to others and listen to their stories, I'm just trying to give a feedback so that we can try to improve. The ones who are coming ahead afterwards also, you can try to focus on these small things which you can work on, so that these are not just plain sessions where I would like you all to take away something also. Because now the storyline was very good. The thing is, I knew this story, so I was already in sync. How many of you all didn't know the story? Can you raise your hands? Everyone knew this story? Kushi? Rashmi, you knew this story already?
No, I don't.
No? Okay. Shanu, you heard the story, what Bikash told? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Kushi? Yeah. I just wanted to ask, how many of you all didn't know the story that Bikash shared? I knew.
I didn't know.
I
You
didn't
didn't know? Kushi? Okay. Everyone heard the story, right?
Yes.
No, Vagisha, you didn't hear. Okay. Why I'm asking that is because, now Bikash, the inputs for you. Anytime, if it's a storyline, any story has to come with an emotion. It's not just plain reading of something that you have in your mind. It's not just about sharing that. A story, when you said, when I've reached an office today, just let me read. I'm not going to tell the entire story, just reiterating some places where an emotion could have come in. There, as I entered the office, there was a notice which read that someone among us who was jealous about us has died, or whatever the lining was exactly. And to create further suspense, if people don't know, and while I was there at the burial ground, there was a big mob waiting to see who was it. And as they went to see inside the coffin who it was, I was shocked. Can you guess who it was? Because the story had so much of a suspense, that build-up was required towards the end with that emotion. And that's where it makes it more impactful. And you don't, once your story is done, you don't have to say the story, the meaning of the story, or the message of the story is. You just have to say, inside that burial was a mirror. A mirror? Was I my biggest enemy? Was I my biggest challenge, the limitation? Was I the cause for my biggest misery? What do you think? A closure like that will not need you to explain things. Like I told in the last session, you don't have to tell this is the moral of the story. Your story in itself should be the moral. You can add points, but you don't have to tell this is the moral of the story. Getting my point, Bikash?
Yes.
These are just inputs for everyone, not limiting to anyone. The people who are going to come up also, there's a request to everyone. When it's a story, more than just the words, it's the emotion that brings or adds value to the story. So who's going to go up next? Uma ma'am?
So, imagine you losing a bag containing valuables when you're traveling. How will you feel? You feel lost. You have the valuables in it, and by mistake, I recollect the story which my father underwent maybe 10 years ago. He was 75 and he was traveling from Bangalore to Mysore by bus, and he had a bag containing some valuable items. And it so happened that being a casual and cool person, he did not much bother about the bag, and he got down for a cup of tea in one of the stops. And by the time he could reach the bus had left, and he didn't know what to do. And it so happened that he had the ticket, and he went to the next bus, and he boarded the bus, and the conductor told him that since you have the ticket, it is a government bus, you can board any bus. But he realized in the process that he had lost the bag. So it so happened that there was a man in the bus sitting next to them who had noticed my father getting down, and he also noticed that he did not come up in the next stop. And he informed the conductor that a passenger is missing, and there is a bag containing his valuable stuff, and it has to be returned to him. So the conductor said, I cannot take the responsibility. You can do what you want. So this person was really good, and he had the alertness. He just opened the side zip, and he could see an invitation carrying my father's address in Mysore, and with his phone number also. And there was a contact number of the person who had sent this invitation to my father. In that invitation, whoever had sent the invitation, his contact number was there. So he was alert enough to ring up that person and tell that there was a person traveling from Bangalore to Mysore by name so and so, and he has not boarded the bus, and it says that he has attended this function. Can you just tell me who it is, and can you give the contact details of that person's family in Mysore so that I can ask them to pick it up when the bus reaches Mysore? So, and he immediately rang up that person, and it was my father's cousin, and my father had gone to attend the cousin's wedding in Bangalore. And that person immediately realized that my father had misplaced the bag, and he gave the details of my brother. And he immediately contacted my brother, and my brother came and collected the bag in Mysore. So all is well that ends well. And it was really a pleasant surprise. Are there such people too, who return the bag, who take such pains and give it back to you? It was really a pleasant, shocking surprise to us. What do you think, audience? What do you feel? Is the world good or is it bad? What is your opinion? I feel
Humanity still exists.
Huh?
Loyalty and still people loyal.
There are some people who are loyal too. So we cannot make judgments saying the world is bad or the world is good. There are good and bad people too, just like 5 fingers in the hand. So each finger is different. So don't be judgmental about any person. Don't judge anything, just on the face value. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
That's a wonderful story, Uma ma'am. It reiterates our belief that the world is still beautiful and there are still good people in the world. Can we have a raise of hand of how many people have experienced such kind of gestures where it reignited your trust in the world that it's not all that bad? Uma ma'am shared one story now. Bikash is raising his hand. That's wonderful. Okay.
So I believe one thing, that I certainly believe that there are more good people than the bad people in the world, and as long as I have the faith in me, I believe I won't come across any bad people around, and that's how it is happening from a long time. So I hardly meet any people who can be termed as bad.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful, Bikash. Okay, coming to Uma ma'am, 2 things only. First, you could have begun with a question wherein you would have just asked, have you ever lost a bag while traveling? Were you able to get it again? Let me share the story where it reignited my faith that there are good people in the world. A beginning like that sets the tone of what you're getting into. So that's a simple suggestion that I had. You being a professor yourself, so not much on the language, you had a wonderful control over language. The choice of words were wonderful. On this aspect where you can make the story at the start a little more, giving the people a perception, okay, this is what is coming, or making people think of their story. So when you said, my father-in-law or who's lost that bag, that's one side of the story where you're sharing your story. If you want people to get into your story, make them rethink about their story. That's how the connection will bring. So when you could have told, have you ever lost a bag while traveling? Give a pause for 2 to 3 seconds. While they're thinking about that, that's where the connection from the start of the story happens with the audience. So that's the idea. Just a small idea where, again, as I told always, here there's nothing right or wrong. I've always believed communication is an art, and each one is an artist here. And in an artist, the challenge is some of us are modern art. Just that we understand what we're saying. Not everyone does, but it's okay. The point is, we keep learning and we keep evolving and try to teach more often. Try to learn and upgrade as and when we get an opportunity. So, who would come next? Kushi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just share a story which I recently came across and it impacted me. Some of you all would have already come across, but yeah, it's worth sharing. So yeah, a professor, the story goes like this. Once a professor started his class by taking out a 100 rupee note and asking his students, you already know this story, sir. Okay. And asking his
Kushi, I'll tell you
students
one
whether
thing. As for fictional stories or stories which are motivational, you can expect by default that me and Pragya will be knowing them because we are into this business. We are into this business that we are looking at stories every day in and day out. So we will know. It's okay. You can go ahead because they are still, as I told always, your story could be known by 10 people, but there are a million people in the world who still need to hear your story. Go ahead.
yes, yeah.
I have one,
So
one
the professor,
suggestion. I have one thing to tell.
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So in case you know, Rahul, just one request:
This.
don't behave other people little bit nervous.
I'll do this.
So
I'll
that's
switch
how
off my
actually
camera.
Kushi also said.
The way sir
I'm
smiled, I got to know.
Yeah, even for me also it was like that only.
okay. Go ahead. Good. I'm sorry. I'll switch off my video then.
Thank you.
Nee, that's all right. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah.
That's
Go
good.
ahead.
Yeah. So the
Here it is
the
not
professor,
about the story only that you're learning, you're also learning the art of telling the story. So it can be any story. You're here to learn how it is to be told. Right?
right. Yeah.
Kushi, sorry for interrupting you so many times.
No, that's
Go ahead. Now nobody's going to stop you.
yeah. So the professor started his class by taking out a 100 rupee note and asking his students, how many of you all want this? Naturally, everyone raised their hands. Even if someone would have asked us, obviously, I believe most of us would have raised. So later, what the professor did is that very same note, he folded the note and asked again, now how many of you all would want this note? Again, those many, all of them raised their hands. Now what he did was he crumpled the note, put it on the floor, stamped the note, and now he asked, now how many of you all want it? Again, naturally, the same number of people raised their hands, all of them. So the professor then told that you all are learning a lesson, that it's very important to know that your life, the value of that, all of you all raise the hands because you all know that how much ever I stamp the note or how much ever I crumple it, the value is still going to be the same. So it's very important in life to make yourself understand that you need to value your life. You're going to have a lot of rejections, a lot of failures. 7 times you fail, but until and unless you don't have self-confidence, until and unless you don't value your life, it's not possible. I would just like to end by saying a dialogue from the movie Sultan. The dialogue goes like, आपको कोई नहीं हरा सकता जब तक आप खुद अपने आप को हरा दोगे. Yeah, thank you.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful, Kushi. Very well said. It's a beautifully narrated story. The coincidence is that now I can laugh, Vikas. Is that fine? This challenge is that I have a YouTube video already uploaded on this same idea. I have done it. I have delivered this somewhere.
I'm
Maybe
sorry,
I'll
I
share
didn't
that
knew
video
that.
later on with you. That's okay. It's not my story, anyways. Even if it's not my story, the point is, as Pragya told, the idea is it's about learning the way you're expressing it. The same story can be told by 100 people and it can be having 100 variations of the story. So that's okay. The point is, just wanted to share that because once you started that 100 rupee note, that is what came to my mind. So with that, let's move. Can I know who's JC Siddharaju?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
You're coming for the first time today?
Yeah, I am joined first time.
Okay, that's great. Welcome to the Speak Up Club. This is a Living Life Initiative, sir. So good to see you here. We are having today, like we keep having these sessions on Saturday nights, and we have different theme-based events and activities that we keep doing, and we have been doing this for the last 19 Saturdays now.
Oh.
So the idea behind this is we give a platform wherein people come, express, experience, listen to different various inputs that they have, because we have someone as young as Vagisha, who's 7 years old, and someone as old as 60-year-old people also in the club. So it's an open platform. There's no registration or an invite or a WhatsApp group which is separately created for each meeting. So it's an open platform wherein we share the meeting in our Speak Up group. There's a WhatsApp group that we have. It has approximately 200 members. We share the meeting invite in that. So whoever wants to join in, feel free. We are there here Saturday nights at 9 p.m. without fail. And just happy to listen to stories and have a little fun in this lockdown, given the stress that we have. These are fun times that we create. Weekly 1 hour of fun is what we are looking at.
Thank you very much, Rahul ji and the entire team. I have been introduced from Uma Natraj Madam. Recently, we met
That's great.
JCI NGO.
Okay.
So today is the
Okay.
first time.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all. We'll keep in touch.
Same here, sir. Hope we are today's theme is storytelling, wherein we are looking at people sharing any story, fiction, non-fiction, personal, or any facet of any story that you want to share to the world. Today's theme is that. So you can go ahead and share any story that you want to share with all of us. I'll come back to you maybe after 2 or 3 participants so that you get your time to think of any story that you want to share.
Okay, sir. We'll try our level best.
Okay. Okay. Next in line, who do we go with? We have Rashmi.
Yes. Yes, I'm just
Yeah.
charging
Can you
my
switch on your
phone.
video?
So I'm just charging my phone. So my video is not on because
Okay.
it's an odd place. But I'm.
Can
I talk?
we? Yeah. If you, I would prefer having the video. If you want to come after the next participant,
Yeah, I
is
don't.
that okay?
I don't mind. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Then can we have your video on?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So Akansha, can we go ahead with you then? Akansha? Akansha, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think some
Where are
issue
we?
with her network. We have
Yeah.
Shanu Khan here.
Shaheen. Yeah, she's called Shaheen Pragya. We had an introduction a little time back.
Okay.
Shaheen, would you like to share a story here?
Wait a minute.
It can be any language. We are okay with Hindi, English. I personally am okay with Telugu as well, but I don't think so many people will be here. So Hindi or English is okay.
Hello, I am audible.
Yes.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, I am audible. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm here. I want to tell one story which I heard. Once there was a king. He wanted to know the answers of 3 questions. The three questions were: what is the most important time to do anything? And the first question of the king is, what is the most important time to do anything? And the second question is, what is the most important person for us? who is the most important person for us? And the third question of the king is that which work is most important for us? So he want the answer of all these three questions. One day he went to a hermit and asked these three questions to the hermit, and the hermit replied, the king, that the most important time for us, it is the present time. Whatever we are doing in the present, the present time is important for us, because we do something in the present time. The past year has gone, we can't do anything whatever we did in our past, or why we bother about so much bother about thinking about future. So the most important time for us is the present time. And the second question is, who is the most important person for us? So the most important person for us is the present person whom we are working with, or whom with we us. If I'm with you, all our members of living life, so the most important person for me this time for you all, because I'm talking with you. I'm talking with you. I'm gaining for something new, and what important work for us is that to do good the person whom with you. So if I am here with you, so I'm giving something new knowledge and do good for you all. So that is the most important work for me. So that is the story, and thank you so much.
That's a wonderful story, Shaheen. I think it has the universe of answers which are required for anyone to live their life with. Simple three questions
Yeah.
and simple answers. I think that's a takeaway that we are going to remember for a long time. Wonderful story, Shaheen. So we'll go next with Rashmi. Are you ready?
Hi, Rahul.
Rashmi or Akansha?
Great.
Anyone?
Sorry for the.
Hi, Rabia. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Nice to
Hi,
see you back.
Yeah, same here. So happy to see you back, although a little late, but still, you are there here with us.
I'm sorry. There was little work at kitchen.
That's okay. That's okay.
Thank you.
No issues. No issues. We understand that. Rashmi, yeah. Rabia, we are having a storytelling. We look forward to listening to a story from you. We are right now having Rashmi, and after that, we'll be coming back to you.
Yeah, again, I have this my.
No issues, Rashmi. Then go ahead. Go ahead without the
Yeah,
video.
can I
Go
talk
ahead without the video.
without video?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
means
Go ahead. No
sorry
issues.
for that.
No
Yeah,
problem.
means
No
my
problem.
story.
We just preferred it.
Okay. I would like to start with, if anybody want minimum effort to change ourselves, you need aspiration. So there is one pond, and there is lot of insects around the pond, and they are nicely roaming here, there, everything. So one insect always go up and go down on the bottom, and again he never come back. So all insect was talking each other, why he's not coming back when you go up? So everybody was wondering, everybody go up and they never come back. So they talked to each other and they said, now if among us, if anybody go now going out of the pond, they should come back and tell us why they are not coming back. So one insect decided, okay, I will go and I will decide, and I will come back and tell everyone why we are not coming or where we are going. So everybody was wondering actually, and he was roaming. He just went out. There was beautiful lilies and leaves and all out of the pond. He was sitting there, looking around, beautiful world, different world, and then he became a dragonfly. One day he got the flying wings and he became a dragonfly. So what I would like to say means, if you like to change yourself, you need first aspiration. Second is transformation, means like you have to be, don't look at your past, where you are past, like if you remember Mohanchand Karamchand Gandhi become a Mahatma Gandhi. He was a lawyer and he was a big shot man's son, and he went for study for England, study for England, and he became a Mahatma Gandhi. He left everything. So start with aspiration. And third things, and second thing, you should not look at your past. And second thing, because of that, dragonfly tried to go back. He couldn't go back, because if he tried to go back down, he will die. And even he will try to go and meet insects. The insect will not recognize, because he totally changed. So that is the third things, means if you are inspire something, then you have to inspire, looking at you, everybody should inspire and learn something. So this is the story. So this is three things is more important: inspiration, transformation, and don't look at your past. And last things, you should be change, and you should be change others with you and inspire others. Thank you for listening my story.
Okay.
And thank you for my
Thank you.
video
That's a
is not
wonderful.
on.
That's okay. That's okay, Rashmi. Still, a story worth sharing. I believe every story has a message, and I think this is a wonderful message that you had to share through this story. A story that I've heard for the first time, possibly, but something that I think has a great learning with regard to the pointers that you gave in, with regard to inspiration, transformation, and sharing of inspiration with others. So, would look to Siddharaju Garu. Are you ready? What would you like to share?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity was extended in this great platform, knowledge sharing, and your style of vocabulary. Everything is fine. Recently, we come across a person called Mohammad Isaac. This is a life story. So he's a construction company worker, very poor guy. So he's not able to make some education performance in his entire life. So what he decided, he has saved some money out of his daily earning and set up a library for the public in the Rajiv Nagar. Even today it is there for reading, knowledge sharing. He has got so many books, magazines, every motivation leaders collection, stamp collection, coin collection. Is a multiple skilled guy. When he is not able to achieve his goals, he achieved through a small contribution. The intention behind is something we should do for the society, of even that small, big, whatever it may be. What we are receiving, something we should do for the society. That's a nice guy. If there is any opportunity, you please go and have a look at his library. From our JC side, we want to develop a library. We're having a project in recent past now. Thank you very much for giving our opportunity. All the best.
Thank you, Siddharaju Garu. I think these are stories. These are stories around us that surround us, and we have to take back something from these. These are the actual stories. Most often, we often look at any inspiration, idol figures whom we don't know, who are far off. We are not sure what their reality is. But there is a reality right around us where I think we should, like Siddharaju Garu said, just shared this beautiful story somewhere. Are you from Madurai, sir? Which city are you in,
Mysore, sir? Born and brought up Mysore only.
Mysore, perfect, perfect. So just as an example, I'm not sure when I'm going to go to Mysore in my life, but there's a story that I've heard from the first-hand experience, and this is something that I'm so proud that someone shares, because these are stories. These are stories that the world needs to know.
You can come, sir.
I still remember there's one. Yeah, so these are stories that I think the world needs to know. And these are from first-hand experience, not somewhere any movie or some third person telling someone else's story. These are stories that the world needs to know. Thanks for sharing that beautiful story with us, sir. I think he is an inspiration to just as much as you, to each one who has heard here. I believe we all could take that inspiration from him. Pragya.
I'm sorry. I have a little bad throat, so you'll have to bear with my terrible voice today. So as we have had 2 sessions, first of all, I would request Siddharaj Garu and Shaheen, I have posted our WhatsApp group link on the chat right now. So you can join the Speak Up group so that you get update of the sessions happening every Saturday or any special session which is happening midweek. We post it over there. We also had a session last week which was similar to this on storytelling, but in a different format, where we played a kind of a game. With these 2 sessions, as we come to a conclusion of what storytelling is all about, I think you all have now seen 2 different formats. One in which you had your own leverage to share what story you would want to. And second format which was there where we were giving you some pointers, some hints on which you had to speak. All these 2 formats boil down to a common point. Can somebody tell me what was common in these 2 things? What was it that you all were able to connect to? Can I please get an answer from somebody?
Khushi, Bikash, Uma ma'am, you were there last week also.
The moral lesson behind each story.
Okay. What about stories which did not have a moral lesson? Bikash, you would want to add?
When the story was being delivered, we were actually imagining the way they were communicating. So that imagination was common between all the stories.
Right. So this is one of the points which, as we discussed in our last session also, that we have all been connected with stories since ages. We have heard stories from our mothers, grandmothers, and people around us. Even when our parents are scolding us, they will tell us a story and then scold us. That this is how things happen. So that is how deeply we have been connected with stories. Now when it comes to telling stories effectively, there are a few pointers which we can remember. First, try to add as much personal touch to the story as you can. Now, what do I mean by that? When we used to listen to moral stories when we were kids, the whole story created an imagination in front of us, right? We could imagine what is happening around there. But at the end, our parents would always tell us that, do you see, the way that person has done, you should also be doing it. That was a format of getting that story connected to us. Now, as we grow adults, obviously we are not going after those moral stories, but the base, the concept remains same. The story should connect to us because that is something which produces emotions, which will give a kind of consistency to what we are speaking and a credibility to it. So for example, even if you're taking a story like what Bikash did or what Khushi did of a 100 rupee note, what we can add to it is what is our experience with that. Although the story was something which you would have heard somewhere else, but we can very easily convert it to ourselves. You could have just added as to one of my professors showed me a 100 rupee note. And that small part, that small change, although the whole story was something which we all have heard, but what I as a listener would be listening to is your experience towards it. That will add the credibility, that will excite my interest that, okay, I have heard this story, but she has faced it live. How did she feel about it? What was her experience? What was her thoughts? So whenever we are telling a story, it is always, it is always better to give that personal touch. Now, how do we do that? Because many people find story creation a tough task, right? People say that I cannot create stories. And I'll tell you, when my son used to ask me, Mama, please tell me a story, it was equally a tough task for me. But soon I understood the pointers which I need to follow when I'm creating a story. First thing, have a central idea around which you want the whole story to revolve. Either have a central character, a central concept, or an idea, right? So for example, if we have to tell a story to a kid, we will either have an animal as a central character, a king as a central character, or a situation that, we were going on a drive or something like that. Similarly, when we are having stories of our life and telling it to people, we will always have a central idea to it. It can be a sad moment that you have faced. It can be an excitement which you have felt. It can be a learning which you have gathered. Or it can just be a painful experience. That will be your central idea. Once you're clear with that idea, second point comes is imagination. How well can you create that story around that idea so that the person who is listening can actually imagine what would have happened to you? How do you do that? Quite simple. By giving the first-hand experience which you had. If you are speaking something which you have experienced with full credibility, emotions, expressions, hand gestures, I as a listener would be able to experience the same thing. For example, if I just have to tell you, today I was going out and I fell from the stairs. Will you get any emotion? No, right? It will just be a general thing which has happened to somebody and can happen to somebody else too. But if I tell you the same thing as today, when I was going out of my house, just when I was getting down the stairs, oh, I slipped, and how painful it was. I was shouting in agony. It was so painful. I hurt my back and it's still paining. When I expressed the actual emotion which I felt when I fell, you would feel the same emotion. You will be able to imagine the same emotion going around in your mind. And that is something which is the best part of storytelling. Connecting with your listeners to whom you are telling that story. It can be a 4-year-old kid or it can be a 60-year-old person listening to a story, but they should be able to feel what you have felt. Now, so we have a central idea. We have the imagination created, right? Now comes the delivery part. How would you deliver a story? Do you remember how our parents used to make things all exciting for us? Even it was a moral story, even if there was a lion who was eating a goat, which we will think as a very terrible thing when we were kids. But how was it created? It was created to increase our excitement as to what is going to happen next. The suspense part, the excitement part was something which kept us glued to that story. Similar thing is what we have to do when we are delivering a story. Have proper pauses when you're speaking, when what is needed. Build that excitement. So for example, if I just have to take a story of what Khushi said, because that is one story which I already remember, so I can tell you very easily on that. As we were all sitting in the class, our professor took a 100 rupees note and showed it to us. Oh, we were all not sure as to why is he showing us this 100 rupee note? And a question came. Do you want to take it? Who would not want to take a 100 rupees note when it is coming for free? Everybody in the class said yes. But soon, to our surprise, he took the note and crumpled it. And we were all looking at each other as to what is he doing with a 100 rupee note? He was about to give it to us. Again, he asked. To our surprise, Will you still take it? Yeah, why won't we take it? We were all still excited the same way. Again, to our surprise, he put it under his feet and he started pressing it with his, the shoes. Now we were going crazy as to what he's doing, right? So this is the kind of excitement you create after each segment of the story. Now, when I'm telling you this story, you will be excited as to what is going to happen next. If somebody who has not heard the story or somebody who has even heard, he's thinking from my perspective when I am sitting in the class telling a story and narrating it as if it is just happening in front of your eyes, right? So these are the three things which you really need to keep in mind when you're creating or when you're trying to give any speech or anything in a story format. Decide a central idea, create the imagination around it, right? And then comes the delivery part. So these are the things which you have to take care when you're delivering, because remember, stories are something which are meant to play around with your imagination, to take you into that experience of being there and feeling it in depth. And this is one format that is so deep rooted into all the kids around the world, all the people around the world, I would say, be it a 60, 70-year-old or be it a 6-year-old, that they will always connect to stories. And not only connect, but they will always remember stories. So when we told you right now that you have to tell a story, it was so easy for you to tell it. If we would have told you just to deliver a speech suddenly, would you be able to do it? No, right? Because that's something which creates pressure in your mind. Story is something which kindles with your mind. You know that we have heard it, we have lived these stories throughout our whole life, and we can tell whenever it comes our way. And that's the same reason when you're giving any speech I would say, convert it into a form of something which is your own story. And you will do wonders with it. And you will be much more comfortable speaking on the stage, in front of camera, or anywhere. Because stories give us smiles, they give us comforts, right? So they make our speeches much more easier. Well, Rahul, you would want to add something?
Yeah, I think we are still left with Akansha and Rabia. If you'd like to, else we'll just move ahead towards the closure of the session. Akansha?
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
There were some internet issues the previous time, so
No
I
issues.
couldn't
You're
speak.
audible now. You can go ahead now.
So there's this story which has completely changed my life, I should say. So this is a real life story of Virat Kohli. All must be knowing him. So it was when he was 18. His father passed away. It was like during the midnight, and they went to the hospital, but there was no use. He passed away. And Virat at that time was playing a Ranji Trophy match against Karnataka. And that was an overnight match. So, but the next day, he went and talked to his coach, and the coach didn't want him to play. But still, the respect for the game and the interest in it made him play. He went and he scored 90 runs and still continued to go on and play in any situation. And he always says this, self-belief and hard work will always earn you success. So this is one thing that has motivated me a lot and gave me an idol for my life.
That's a wonderful share, Akansha. It still sends, whenever I listen to stories like this, it actually sends a jitter down my spine. I'm not sure why, but that's a kind of a knack that I have for listening to inspirational stories. Somehow it gives me a kick, and it makes me drive through the idea that a story, an inspirational story, or any incident has a power to transform us. Now, when you read, while you were talking about the story of Virat Kohli, I remembered a similar story of Sachin Tendulkar. I think that's the incident of '96 World Cup or '99 World Cup. That's a year when It was in a different country. Sachin lost his dad. He came back to India, went ahead with the procedure, whatever the rituals are there, and then he went back in a matter of a few days. He went back for playing for the country because the country needed him. It's a World Cup, and he went back and he delivered and he scored a century. And after his century, that picture is still viral on the net, where after his century he raises his bat and looks up in the sky, and that's how that kind of a moment has frozen in millions of minds of what the power of emotion can be. Despite all the hardships, despite all the pain that he would have been in for the loss of his father, he was still there, delivering and doing what he felt or what he was passionate about. So that's one story that comes to my mind when you shared this story. Beautiful incident that you shared. Rabia. Rabia?
Yes, hello, good evening. Yes, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You would like to share a story?
Yeah, definitely. I would like to, please.
Go ahead.
Hi, Pragya. Good evening. Sorry, I just could not be able to because I was listening to the story, so I did not wish you at that time. Nice to see you.
Just for everyone's update, this will be the last story that we have here, and post that I'll just take a minute to close the session. Okay, go ahead, Rabia.
It's a story which is very close to my heart because it was told by my father. As you know well, that he always have a special place for me in my heart. So I would like to share it to one and all because this is the platform given for us, I can say, where we can feel ourselves free enough to express ourselves. So I'll not take much time because time is running short. So let me start with, it is a story. Actually, it can't be called as a story. It is something which is of our scriptures from where it has been picked up from. So there was a man who always had a doubt. That question, it comes not only in his mind, we can say, it comes always in the mind of every person now and then, I can say. So that man always had a doubt that what is the world is, how is it created, and such kind of thing. But three questions which always recur in his mind, and he kept on thinking on those lines, were the first thing what he feels, that is God present? Always he used to think, that is God present? If so, then why do we fail to see him? We all talk about, right? From the day we are brought into this world till the last breath, we always will and definitely remember him. There is no doubt about it. But everybody believes he's there. But have we ever seen him? No, we haven't. We just know that he's there. So he always used to have a thought, if he is present, then why don't we see him? Why not he is visible? And then after, the second question what he had in his mind was, we read, he just have told that we read in our holy books that the devil is made from fire. And if anything goes wrong in our life, we always blame first to others. That is a human nature, we can say. Besides that, we always say that it is the devil's work. It is the devil who plays or dance on your head and made you to do the things which you cannot do or you might have not done it. Most of the time we say that and we try to save ourselves. So likewise, he had a thought that when the devil is made out of fire, then on the day of judgment, it is known fact that the devil is going to be punished definitely. And he will be thrown into the hell. So we know very well the definition of hell is, it's a well full of fire. So he had a thought that when the devil itself is made of fire, when he will be pushed into the hell, then what difference will it make when he himself is of fire going into the fire? So it will definitely not make any much difference as such. He will not feel the pain as what he felt. And the third question what he had in his mind was, everything is in the hands of God. We know very well. Everything is in the hands of God. And whatever happens, happens for the best. We accept and we say that, yes, it is all in his hand and he is the doer. And we should say that he is responsible for everything. So that's how it is. So that thing also goes on into his mind. And that questions were pressing him hard, and he was just thinking of that to whom shall he ask and get an answer for this. He asked many a people, but he failed to get any answer. So at last he reached to a place where he came to know that there lives a saint who is a very well-known person and who has lots of knowledge. He's a wise man. So why not he go and speak to him? So that man went away to that person and then spoke to him, saying that actually I have come here with the thought that I'm going to get an answer for all my questions which I have been getting into my mind since long. So the saint saw him and he smiled at him. And then he says, okay, fine, feel yourself comfortable and free enough to express yourself. So the man sat in front of him and then he started off. Then he says, can I say my questions, what I have in my mind? Then the saint says, yeah, why not? Please go ahead. So then he started off and he says, my first question is God present? If so, then why do we fail to see him? Then the saint says, fine, you may just tell the next one. So then again, he presented his next question saying that we read in our holy books that the devil is made out of fire and he will be punished on the day of judgment by being thrown into the hell. So what difference will it make fire into fire? So then he smiled and then he says, okay, then the last one, what is the last question? Can you please say? Then he just said that, yeah, it is that everything is done by God. It is all in his hands. Then why do we people blame each other? That if something goes wrong, you have done it, I have done it, or something like that. It is done by God. Why not to blame him himself? So the saint remained silent for a minute. He just paused. He looked at him and he did not reply. And this man was getting little uncomfortable and was feeling little nervous as well. And he was thinking that whether I'm going to get an answer at this place also, or am I going to go empty-handed like. So then he was just looking at him. Then the saint got up. He just bent down and took a handful of mud and then tightly he made it into a ball and threw it very hard on the head of that man. And it hit him so hard that man started crying. Then he was shocked and aghast and he says, I just have come and in a very decent way, politely I asked you a few questions which you are supposed to answer. And in place of answering, you hit me so badly. May I know the reason for what you have done so? Then he smiled, the saint smiled at him and he just said that, this is the answer for all your 3 questions. Then he was surprised and he says, what are you saying? How could you say like that? Then he just says, what was your first question? Can you repeat? Then he says, yeah, it is, is God present? If so, then why do we fail to see him? Then he says, then you are crying. What for are you crying? Then he says, it's paining like anything. Then he says, can you show me your pain? Can I see your pain? You just says that it is paining. But can you see or can I see? Can you show it? The same is the answer for your question. God is very much there, very close to you, very near to you. But you cannot see, but you can feel him. Is there. That is the answer for your first one. And the second question is, what you read in our holy books, that devil is made out of fire, and when he's going to be thrown into the hell, which is a place of fire, he won't find any difference. But let me tell you that even we humans are made out of mud, as what we have read in our scriptures. So I have thrown on you a ball made of mud. It hit you so hard that you felt the pain. So both are mud. You are made out of mud and even the ball which I made is out of mud. But it hit you so hard that you started crying. Now you can feel it. Did you understand now? That is the answer for your second question. And the last but not the least, the question was, everything is done by God and everything is in the hands of God. Then why are you complaining me? You better go to God and tell him. That was the problem you faced. It's not in my hands. It is done by God. So you don't blame me. So that is how the man came to know about the answers of all his questions, and he felt sorry and asked for forgiveness. And then after satisfied and happily, he went back home. Thank you.
That's a wonderful spiritual story, I think, Rabia. Wonderful, and even more interesting was the fact the way you presented it. I believe I've seen some really good storytellers, and I must say, the way the choice of words that you have, the way your emotions, the voice modulations that you had, was a wonderful way of expressing that beautiful message that you shared today. I think that was wonderful, Rabia. So with that,
Thank you so much. And I give credit to Pragya ma'am and you. You both are my ideal, and I can say I get inspired seeing you both. The better way
thank you.
of
Thanks.
presentation is first seeing you people. You both smile first, and the way give a warm welcome to us, make us at ease to express ourselves so beautifully.
Thank you, Rabia. We are
Thank you.
honored
God
that
bless you.
you feel a good reception from us. Thank you. Okay, what I've done is I've just shared a link in the WhatsApp group, in this chat group, wherein in that link we have all the social media handles, the Facebook channel, the Instagram channel, the Speak Up Club WhatsApp group, which is there, the LinkedIn channel. The links to all our social media handles are there on that. Would request each one of you all to please go and like, subscribe, what is required for each of these channels. It really helps in spreading the message further down ahead to a wider audience, and it helps us in reaching more people with the message that we have to share. With that, we have had some really good stories, listened to something which we personally learned from each one of y'all. Uh, so thank you for sharing your stories with us. And I hope each one of you all, not just for what we are saying, but I believe everyone is saying their story, and each one of us, each one of you all, I hope have got a takeaway from the session that we have today. Some story, it need not be about perfect communication or perfect story telling as such, but the idea is something that you can carry back. I've had something beautiful from Uma ma'am with regard to the idea that there's goodness in the world. Siddharaju sir with regard to there's inspiration. There are good people still there around the choices that we make. Rabia, the spiritual story that you want to share. Wagisha, the beautiful story that I would like to share to my son now. Shaheen, you also had a beautiful story. Khushi, although copied from me, which I copied from someone else, was a beautiful story. It's always good to listen to that story. Vikas and Rashmi, each one's story was different for a different audience, for a different place. But here on this platform, you get to listen it all. On one platform, we are not talking to a kid, we are not talking to a 60-year-old, we are not talking to women, we are not talking to men. We are talking to people who are here to learn. And we are very happy that each one of us, as much, I hope each one of you have learned as much as we have done today. And thank you for sharing this 1 hour with us. Thank you, everyone. Just a small request, would request everyone to please log in by 9 o'clock so that we can begin the session. Otherwise, if you're logging, it's not pointed to any one individual. We have 9, 10, 9, 15 logins. So what happens is that we are waiting so that we don't have to explain or redo the entire thing for every time someone is coming in. The idea is if you begin on time with the entire crowd here, 1 or 2 editions later on is fine. But once we begin on time, we get that flexibility of having more time or spending more time, quality time with you all. Otherwise, it's already 10:22 and we have someone as young as 7-year-old or Akansha, they have their school, they have their exams, whatever 100 things that could be playing in the mind. The reason we shifted this time from 9:30 to 9 o'clock was that we wanted the audience for someone who doesn't have to be constrained that it's already 10:30, it's already 11 and have to rush. So again, I would request everyone to come, join us, and if you have liked the session today, as I would say, in the link that I've given, you can open that link, go to Facebook, go to LinkedIn, go to YouTube, look at our work. You can give a review, share a rating on any of these platforms, and we'll be more than happy for the word to spread to more people and have an exciting Saturday night, as I like to call it always. Saturday nights after lockdown have never been more fun than what we are having right now. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Anything that anyone would like to share? Siddharaju sir, any ideas that you would like to share? You're the first time here, and Shaheen.
Thank you, Rahul Jain sir and the entire team. This is most important for the today's kid and the culture we have, the storytelling, art of storytelling. This is the one opportunity we can also learn, unlearn and relearn. This is the one process we can go ahead. Thank you very much for the entire team, and especially for
Thank you.
Pragna Madam. She has shared in such a way that rendering a story in different way, connecting with the emotional aspects. That's a very nice. Thank you. Special thanks to Pragna Madam. Thank you so much. Get in touch with you next week. The floor
Thank
is
you.
yours, sir.
Hopefully you join the WhatsApp group and hope to see you going ahead every Saturday night. Can we have Shaheen?
Yeah, it is a wonderful session, and I learn a lot from this session. So thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot for coming in. Hopefully looking forward to seeing you all again. And thank you, Uma ma'am, for bringing in your guests, and thanks for sharing the message. For everyone, if you're liking and feeling the atmosphere of Saturday nights like this, please share the message with your friends and family and bring them in. We'll be more than happy to have more guests. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Who wants to join for the next group,
Next
next
weekend.
week?
Bye.
Just wants to get introduced now. Yeah, can just speak.
Hello, sir.
Good evening, sir. In fact, good evening, Rahul. I think.
Yeah, I think that's what I was going to say. I'm almost the age of your son, and here I have my son standing in front of me. So that's what I would like to say. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll join from next week. In fact, I've heard about you and your wife from Ma. You're doing good work. I'm interested in public speaking. So, in fact, it was a bit late. Otherwise, I would have joined this week itself. I'll definitely join next Saturday and participate actively.
Sure. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot. We look forward to having more innovative and more fun activities so that we all can pass through this lockdown time, this times of COVID, in maintaining our sanity and keeping ourselves more happy. Look at him yawning, and I think I'll say goodbye to you all right now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a nice week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Bye bye.
Good night. Good night, Bolo.
Good night.
Bolo?
Good night. Bye.
What's your name?
What's your name, Hriday? I'm on my headphones and he can't listen to you. What's your name?
My name is Hriday.
Ridyansh. We call him Hriday at home.
Oh, okay. Very nice name. Very unique name.
God bless you.
Thank you, thank you. The name means heart. It's a Sanskrit, derives from Sanskrit, a Hindi word, meaning Hriday, heart.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
And his school name is Ridyansh, which actually means a part or a piece of a heart.
Wow.
The parents.
So we wanted both the pieces of mine and Pragya's heart. So we wanted to name it like that.
Yeah, very cute. Yeah, he woke up
Thank you.
late night. He's wake up with he's
Yeah, so Saturday nights are kind of fun for him as well. He gets to spend a little time alone watching TV or watching a movie or something like that while we are busy here. Okay then. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. What's up, guy? Bye, Bolo.
Bye.
Chalo, sir. Have a good day, sir. Have a good night. Thank you. Bye.